I have been honored to serve as chairman and to be a part of an elaborate and infinitely fascinating process which involves the recognition and the reward of excellence in the service of the Caribbean region.
Today, we honor two persons who have achieved the highest levels in this service. They are the 2022 winners of the Anthony N. Sabga Caribbean Awards for Excellence in the fields of entrepreneurship and in public and civic contribution, Shyam Nokta and Anushka Sonai. The 2022 laureate for entrepreneurship is a Guyanese visionary businessman, administrator, and environmentalist, Mr. Shyam Nokta. Shyam has distinguished himself by his innovation and pioneering creativity in providing a very necessary service to environmental conservation and compliance with international standards demanded by the international community in relevant industries. He has provided consultancy support for the private sector and for government, while at the same time creating a successful business in order to do so. Shyam's contribution has provided advice and guidance that have fortified several clients, local and international, while he has rendered invaluable service to the government of Guyana. His company, Environmental Management Consultants, was testimony to his entrepreneurial prowess because of its financial and administrative success, as well as its reach in the Caribbean and internationally, and its formal recognition by the government of Chile, to give another example, who found it opposite to honor him with an international award. Another high point of Shyam's consultancy service is the additional service it provides in training. A great deal of field work is done, and this provides a training ground to persons in the area, as well as provides them with employment and income. These persons acquire the necessary high skills while working with the company. Ms. Anushka Sonai is a Surinamese, working and providing extraordinary national and regional service to Suriname and the Caribbean through her creation of 5 companies in the field of information technology, 3 of which generate financing for the other 2, which are charitable service companies for the development of youth and women, enabling them to contribute meaningfully to various areas of technology and the digital industries. For us in the Guyana Country Nominating Committee, Anushka is particularly precious and gives us a profound sense of achievement. We are very humbled to have been asked by the ANSCAF to assume responsibility for our Caribbean neighbor, Suriname, for the purpose of making nominations from that country to these awards. We have a sense of pride in the fact that based on our nomination, Anushka is the first Anthony Sabga laureate from Suriname and the first to have been nominated by another country under this scheme of responsibilities. It speaks for the impact of her excellent work that she is thus elevated. She had the insight to recognize that while many youths receive training at the secondary level in the field of information technology and the related technical industries, what they learn and the skills they acquire are not advanced enough for them to provide the high levels of service required at the national and regional levels. They were effectively deficient in their ability to satisfy the national needs without further tertiary training that was not universally available to them. Anushka, therefore, had the vision to create companies working in the relevant fields which could provide funding for the training of youths and women. She further created 2 companies in which the actual training takes place. Anushka has made an impact in the advancement and empowerment of women, on whom she has placed a studied emphasis. Her service to the community and the region has seen tangible results in the numbers of persons trained and the services provided that have been duly recognized in Suriname and in the Caribbean. It is therefore my profound privilege to invite you to witness the formalities that are to follow as we pay homage to the ageless quality of excellence. This is the 4th and final in the series of ceremonies to present the awards, which have already taken place in Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago. Allow me to congratulate laureates Nokta and Sonai, who will be decorated this afternoon, as well as the others who have already gone through the process. I now have the honor to invite Professor Compton Bourne, Chairman of the Regional Eminent Persons Panel, to come to the podium and address you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We who are gathered here are enjoined to take pride in the accomplishments of those persons who have been named as the 2022 laureates of the Anthony N. Sabga Caribbean Excellence Awards. The process leading to the final recommendations is a very open and competitive one. Any Caribbean person can be nominated, and there is even the possibility of self-nomination. However, all nominees should have a demonstrable and recognized record of consistently superior, excellent, and original work, and should have potential for future development. These are quite exacting standards. But all of our laureates in 2022, as in previous years, satisfy those demanding criteria. Dr. Kim Debut Singh, who was inducted as a laureate in public and civic contributions at the ceremony in Barbados, has made tremendous public and civic contributions to the awareness of deficiencies in eye care in Barbados and the rest of the Caribbean, and towards improving the availability and quality of the requisite services. Professor Christine Carrington, who was inducted as a laureate in science and technology at the ceremony in Trinidad and Tobago, is an outstanding virologist, most likely best known in the Caribbean for her extremely valuable contributions to effective and efficient government and societal management of the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Marlon James, who who was inducted as a laureate in arts and letters at the ceremony in Jamaica, is a novelist of international repute and the winner of the Man Booker Prize in 2015. Our laureates, as you've heard, who will be inducted in this ceremony are Mr. Shyam Nokta in entrepreneurship and Ms. Anushka Sonai in public and civic contributions. You've heard already from Mr. Crichton something about their achievements, and you will have an opportunity to hear more about them and to hear directly from them. That each of the categories in which laureates are selected is considered of fundamental importance to social and economic development of our Caribbean countries requires no elaboration in this gathering. It may also be fully appreciated that the laureates embody a professional and social philosophy articulated by a sage who said, quote, "It is not a question of how much a man knows, but what he makes of what he knows. Not a question of what he has acquired and how he has been trained, but of what he is and what he can do." The potential nominees are scrutinized and assessed by one of the 5 country nominating committees, representative of Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, the OECS, and Trinidad and Tobago. And the country nominating committees are empowered to go beyond their geographical boundaries in nominating candidates for the award, as Guyana has done twice in nominating candidates from Suriname. I would like on this occasion to pay tribute to the tireless efforts of the country nominating committees in ensuring that there is always a worthy list of nominees for consideration by the Regional Eminent Persons Panel. The chairs of the country nominating committees for the selection of the laureates in 2022 were Dr. Janine Comer of Barbados, Mr. Al Crichton, Guyana, Mr. Maureen Seymour, Jamaica, Dr. Lennox Honeychurch, OECS, and Mrs. Helen Drayton, Trinidad and Tobago. New chairs have been appointed to replace those for Barbados, Jamaica, and Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Angela Aline, a UWI biologist and biochemist, will chair the Barbados Committee. UWI Professor Emeritus Ishenkumba Kawa, a specialist in molecular chemistry, will chair the Jamaica Committee. And UWI Professor Surajpal Tilak Singh, the Science and Technology Laureate in 2011, will chair the Trinidad and Tobago Committee. I have no doubt that they will be worthy successors to the outgoing chairs. The Regional Eminent Persons Panel convenes annually to receive oral and written and video presentations on the nominees from the country nominating committees and to discuss the merits of the respective candidates. I can tell you that it is a thorough, exhausting process, made enjoyable nonetheless by the collegiality and camaraderie of the members of the panel. When we meet as a panel, we have before us so many truly worthy nominees for final consideration that in the final analysis, it is a matter of fine judgment. It would be remiss of me not to acknowledge in this forum the very valuable contributions of my colleagues on the Regional Eminent Persons Panel, namely Major General Joseph Singh, Justice Christopher Blackman, Mr. Christopher Boville, Professor Emerita Bridget Brereton, Mrs. Charmaine Gardner, Sir Kenneth Hall, Professor Nigel Harris, Ambassador Irwin LaRocque, Mrs. Diana Mahabir Wyatt, and Justice Ralston Nelson. Mr. Chairman, we are in a country with material and financial resources and a global environment propitious for its economic and social transformation. Which brings to my mind a quotation from William Shakespeare, who wrote, "There is a tide in the affairs of men, which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries." Shakespeare's words are applicable to countries, and specifically to Guyana at this moment in time. From what I have read in the Guyanese print media, the government of Guyana is wisely taking the tide at the flood. With these introductory remarks, I now yield the floor to Mr. Andrew Sabgo, chairman of the Ansa McAl Foundation, but not before I express, as my immediate distinguished predecessor, Sir Stuart Ramphal, has done on many occasions, our collective appreciation and high regard for the public spiritedness and commitment to fostering Caribbean excellence, which the Foundation and the Sabga family have unwaveringly displayed from the inception of the Anthony N. Sabga Caribbean Awards for Excellence in 2006. I thank you for your attention.
It is my honor on behalf of the Ansa McAl Foundation to welcome you to the 14th award ceremony of the Anthony N. Sabga Awards, honoring Caribbean excellence. We are here today to recognize two exceptional individuals, Mr. Shyam Nokta of Guyana and Ms. Anushka Varsha Sonai of Suriname for their contributions in entrepreneurship and public service. Mr. Nokta has successfully created a business in protecting the magnificent natural heritage of Guyana. His business, Environmental Management Consultants Limited, has instilled care and passion for the environment, a resolve often lacking within energy-rich nations. His efforts ensure that as the country progresses, nature's beauty will be preserved for years and for generations to come. Our other awardee, Ms. Anushka Varsha Sonai, laureate in public and civic contributions, is the first to be honored from Suriname. Ms. Sonai is an information and communication technology entrepreneur who has incorporated social initiatives into the heart of her business. Her group of companies, Creative Tech Hub Caribbean, and I hope I got that right, comprises of 5 commercial and artistic companies that train young people and women in the use of internet and IT to create businesses, find employment, and improve their livelihoods. She is also a regional advocate for the expansion of ICT and increasing the share of women participating in digital life and commerce. The vision, foresight, and drive to achieve and make a difference are qualities that all our laureates, including these two, exhibit. Their abilities to look at our lives and societies, identify areas of improvement, and provide solutions are honorable. They do this through their fields of work in science, art, social activism, and entrepreneurship. We have, along with our present group of laureates, honored a total of 44 remarkable Caribbean people so far. By country, Jamaica has 11 laureates, Guyana 12, Trinidad and Tobago has 17, Barbados 4, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States has 9, and today Suriname has its first. That quality of work that our laureates do is really remarkable. But often, they work in isolation and go unsung outside of their small academic or peer communities. So I must praise our country nominating committees and the members of the Eminent Persons Panel who give freely of their time to seek out these exceptional Caribbean citizens and extract what I refer to as the best of the best. To you all, I must thank you. Looking at Mr. Nokta and Ms. Sonai and the other laureates this year, I can see what my father, Dr. Anthony N. Sabga, for whom these awards are named, admired most. My father was a Caribbean man, long before our Calypsonian black stallion coined the term in 1979. As a young businessman, he traveled the region in pursuit of his vision to create a pan-Caribbean organization serving the needs of our people. Early in his career, he invested time and significant resources into establishing many businesses regionally. Specifically, my father was always fond of Guyana. This country held a very special place in his heart. He first invested in this land and its people 30 years ago. Today, Anser McCall's Guyanese holdings are considerable, with 7 companies employing over 450 persons. My father was firmly of the belief that people were the most valuable asset in any organization. As he fondly said it, the driving force behind greatness. From his travels, he interacted with many very talented and skilled Caribbean persons and felt compelled to find a way to harness that talent and help propel their good work for the benefit of our region. It is this realization that led to the formation of the Anthony N. Sabga Awards, honoring Caribbean excellence. We have awarded 44 laureates in total, a total sum of 24 million TT dollars to assist in their continuation of their work. We have staged 14 ceremonies in Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and Barbados, at a total cost of approximately $20 million. This means that we've invested approximately $44 million into this program since its inception. And we consider this to be one of our most important investments, highlighting the brilliance of our people, those who exemplify and reflect the true essence of leadership, collaboration, persistence, dedication, creativity, and innovation. We see these traits in our laureates in 2022. We see it in Marlon James, novelist from Jamaica, who has told stories of Caribbean people with great acclaim worldwide. In Dr. Kim Jabod Singh, ophthalmologist of Barbados, who achieved prominence educating Barbadians and West Indians about the importance of eye care and sharing her skills for regional benefit. And we see it in Professor Christine Carrington of Trinidad and Tobago, whose work has, as a scientist, was able to provide help in the effort of combating the COVID-19 pandemic regionally and other infectious diseases. And I would be remiss if I did not recognize Guyana's long list of previous laureates, even as we prepare to induct Mr. Nokta and Ms. Sonai. Professor David Dibadine, Ms. Annette Arjun Martins, Mr. Sidney Alicock, the late Mr. George Simon, Ms. Karen D'Souza, Professor Paloma Mohammed, Mr. Winslow Craig, Dr. Arif Bulkan, Mr. Andrew Boyle, Mr. David Andrew Mendez, and Professor Suresh Narayan. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, Mr. Nokta and Ms. Sonai are in distinguished company, and Guyana is a powerhouse of excellence. So, in closing, I would like to leave you with a gift that my father left behind for our family and for our business, a sense of hope in our Caribbean life and culture. We have the skills, resourcefulness, and talent within our region to transform our lives and the well-being of our people here in the Caribbean. We at the Anthony N. Sabga Awards are honored to highlight these great feats, celebrate Caribbean excellence, and assist in the furtherance of the work being done by the great citizens of the Caribbean region. I thank you.
I'm particularly more honored today to be welcomed into the Marriott by an exceptional son of Guyana, a man who has contributed significantly to Guyana, but more importantly, to the Caribbean. And in a brief moment of reflection, I reflected on my own younger life, welcoming the same distinguished gentleman at the steps of the Caribbean flight during one of the Caribbean's Development Bank governors meeting in Guyana. I speak of no other but Professor Compton-Born. His own legacy and work has influenced me tremendously. I hope this region and Guyana as a whole would get to know him more. And I will seek him out on his visit to Guyana because he is critically needed in this path that we're taking to prosperity. Excellence is something we are all acquainted with. You remember in your report cards at school, there'll be a column that says remarks, and the teacher would say excellent, good, very poor, satisfactory. But let us reflect on all those persons who had a perfect report card where everything was always excellent, and to see how that was translated into their contribution to society. And you will see a very small percentage coming through to what constitutes excellence in a society. Because excellence has nothing to do with individual accomplishment. You can be very excellent at what you do, but that is all you will be. You can demonstrate excellence in what you do, but in doing that, you change the prospect for society and people who live in society. Many companies, many of you run companies, you have excellent staff, and then you have excellent team player. More times, the excellent team player might be elevated to CEO, and the excellent staff might remain an excellent staff. Excellence has some values and qualities that are distinctly different from performing excellently. And that is why these awards, in my humble opinion, are different. The awards do not seek to find persons or individuals who are performing excellently, but it looks beyond that to see how that excellence is translated into societal upliftment, the upliftment of country, the upliftment of the region as a whole. My dear friend and sister here, once you're part of the region, you're part of a family. I don't know you personally, but from what I have read and heard, you have demonstrated what that excellence is and how that excellence was used to uplift society positively. But I do know Shyam Nokta well. Shyam and I share, and Shyam, I wasn't even asked anything about these awards, so just for the media. Shyam and I share a very, very close relationship. What I can say about Shyam is that he is very selfless. There are some things about him that no one would know, but Shyam could have assumed many things. But he sees himself as a contributor to society, someone who is gifted with a specific passion that must be shared with people. And he has done that selflessly. Those of who share a friendship with him knows that he values his friendship. Those are attributes of excellence that you must find. He values people's effort. He's very respectful. He's very calculative. Very, very calculative. Now, some people will say calculative people are very deadly. They calculate the exact point to strike. That's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. All fair. But he's calculative in a very good way. When he speaks, it's precise and to a particular point. So I am very pleased that I can be a dysfunction to honor our sister from Suriname and to honor not only a citizen of Guyana, but someone who I have the great privilege of referring to as my friend. In any difficult situation, I can always rely on a phone call from Shyam, and a phone call that is uplifting. And that speaks to the character of someone who do not look to call you in the nice, beautiful moments of life, but look to call you in situations that require friendship and counsel. And I'm sure that there are many persons in Suriname who you have influenced who can say similar things about you. To the company and those who continue to keep this rich tradition of these awards going, your contribution is not only your financial investment. That is negligible. Of course, as a percentage of your profit, it is beyond negligible. But what is important is that there is something in the region that can drive people to excellence. There is something in the region that regional citizens can work towards. There is something in the region that recognizes and celebrate the accomplishment of excellence. And that is the value that these awards bring, that you cannot ascribe a value to. Dr. Bourne quoted Shakespeare. I can quote him because I remember distinctly some of his contributions, whether it's at the BNTF replenishment meetings, or whether it was your visit, among many visits to Guyana. Long before oil and gas, you made some predictions about Guyana that were not rooted in oil and gas, but were rooted in what you know of the people of Guyana, the resources that we have, and our ability to transform Guyana in so many sectors, including food and nutrition. And it is in that spirit that we are advancing the tide, but a tide that must bring prosperity to every Guyanese and prosperity to this region as a whole. The good thing about tide is that the tide just does not rise naturally. There are many events that can influence the level of the rise in the tide. The tide can rise to and create a tsunami. What that tells us is that there are conditions surrounding the tide that we always have to be mindful of. And we always have to ensure we do our best to create conditions around the tide that will make it impactful and not destructive. And that is where the issue of oil and gas comes in. Managing the economy and the future of Guyana as if you don't have oil and gas, but with the revenues derived from oil and gas. Only last night I told a gathering in this, I think it's this very room, that when I go to international meetings, there's a rush. Ambassador Elizabeth will tell you for bilaterals and so these days. And the first thing they will say, oh, you're from the rich oil and gas country of Guyana. I said, no. I wish to correct you immediately. I am from the humble country of Guyana. We are fighting and working every day to get out of poverty. And guess what? We are a poor developing country, and all I'm pleading with you for is concessional financing and low-cost financing. We must not mistakenly get ahead of ourselves with a narrative that sounds sweet. We must take control of the narrative that can influence the tide. Tomorrow we can do every single thing that would make the world call us developed. But it will come at a cost. It is better we are called developing and take the long glide to prosperity with limited risk. So, as we celebrate these awardees, let it be an inspiration for the rest of us in the region to continue to work hard and diligently to achieve the type of excellence that would make a positive contribution on humanity, that would change the prospects for people, and that would advance the cause of development. Congratulations once more. May God bless all of you.
distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, I wish to first of all express my profound gratitude and appreciation to all of you for being here today. I feel especially honored to share this moment with some of the persons who have contributed significantly to my success. First of all, my parents. My mom could not be here today, but my dad is with us. The person I am and much of what I have achieved has been due to them. From an early age, they instilled in me life principles of respect, hard work, diligence, and humility. While my mom kept me on the straight and narrow path and focused on the academics, it was my dad who introduced me to nature and the environment, taking me on many of his trips across Guyana into the hinterland. And no doubt that would have aroused that passion for the environment, which still burns in me. It is not often that you get to thank your parents publicly. And today, I would like to say thank you, Mom and Dad, for your support in everything that I have pursued, whether it's academic, it's professional, or it's personal pursuits. Along this path, I have been afforded the opportunity to work with many individuals and organizations from the grassroots level, working in government, in the private sector, with international organizations. And today, I would like to recognize just a few of those individuals who have helped me, guided me, and continue to do so. In the private sector, Mr. Edward Boyle, Mr. Ramesh Duku, and Mr. Desmond Sears. My good friend, Mrs. Annette Arjun Martins, a passionate conservationist, and our Vice President and former President of Guyana, Dr. Bar Jagdeo, who provided me with that opportunity to work in the area of climate change and to play a part in Guyana's historic low-carbon development strategy and our partnership with the Kingdom of Norway. I have had the opportunity to make a career and a successful business working in an area that I'm passionate about, the environment. Today, EMC as a company has grown perhaps well beyond what I first envisaged. And much of that has to do with the team of people that have worked together to ensure that we continue to grow and to expand. And today I'd like to recognize two of those persons, Mr. Khalid Aladdin and Ms. Sharmati Ramnath, who have been with me on this journey for over 10 plus years. The work that we do, providing environmental services, promoting green growth, is relevant to Guyana, but also the wider Caribbean. Today, as we look at how our countries are approaching development, the different issues that we have to grapple with on the development agenda, but at the same time, how we prepare ourselves for certain global challenges, such as climate change. It requires us to all work together. And importantly, too, there is a growing recognition that the private sector has an important role to play in all of these critical areas. This award provides me with a new platform to promote what EMC has been doing, but also to raise awareness on the environment, and on the issues surrounding the environment, especially among young people. They are the next generation of environmental leaders, conservationists, and entrepreneurs. In this regard, working with several prominent Guyanese environmental leaders, I've set up the EMC Foundation that will be working especially with young people and those who are passionate about the environment on issues related to environmental awareness and education. In closing, I would like to thank those persons who nominated me, to the Anthony Sabga Committee. I am deeply honored to receive this award. To my fellow laureates, congratulations, and it's a privilege to share this space with you. And finally, to my wife, Melissa, and my son, Shane. Melissa, throughout the years, you have supported me, and many of my dreams have been successful because of your steadfastness and your patience. Thank you. Shane, you've already started to show interest in the environment. And if that's the path you choose, I'd be happy to hold your hand. But whatever path you choose, rest assured you have my full support in whatever you choose to do. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to once again thank you all for being here today, supporting me and Anushka in what I can say is a historic day for me and a very humbling experience. Thank you.
I would like to make a short note before I go further. It's very special for me to be here and to be nominated amongst people like Mr. Shyam Nokta, Dr. Kim Jabot Singh, and all the other laureates, because I'm the first from Suriname. And I'm not the first child, but I still know what the pressure is to be the first child, as my older sister's always complaining about how, as the first, she had this big responsibility. So I take this responsibility very serious. And what I want to share with you is what today is not about. No, you're too young. No, nobody is doing this. No, I don't know of any other women who's doing that. I don't see this happening in the near future. Many knows. But today isn't about those no's, the doubts and the disbeliefs that I have on my whole journey while becoming a laureate of the Anthony Sabga Award. I did not even know that that was a possibility to me, because I missed in my whole journey to have role models and people like myself, and to see that someone who is from my background, my country, my same, let's say, environment be as successful as this platform is making me today. I'm always very humbled when people come up to me and say, oh, can I take a selfie with you? I look up to you, you're my role model. And it's usually young people and youth and women. And I always feel that I have a big responsibility to do the right things. So being here today, I want to thank the whole group of the Anthony Sabga Awards ceremony and the foundation behind this, that you are creating this platform. If you read my biography, you will see that I have been misunderstood for being always trying to be excellent in whatever I do, and always asking from my team to put out excellent performances and to deliver to the highest quality standards that we can, and always trying to become better and better. And people thought that that is competitive and it's not healthy, but with an award in excellence, you make it look like it's a way to go if you want to. It's very important to be excellent if you want to become a leader in your own work field. So thank you for that. I want to give a special thanks to the Guyana Nominating Committee, who had the courage, the pioneership, and vision to nominate me as the first from Suriname, but also the first from outside the English-speaking Caribbean. And also to have the courage to nominate a woman, and then fight for it, and do everything that was in their power to do to make it happen for me. Thank you so much. Your efforts are much appreciated. I want to thank also the Anthony Sabga Awards itself for organizing this and for giving me this platform and in helping me to propel my movement in creating a sustainable digital economy in the Caribbean together with my team and my companies. I want to thank my parents for their upbringing and their strictness that we always have to come with good marks from school, but also be very helpful in the neighborhood and help out with everything that's happening in our community. For always instilling in us that it's important to serve. If you have something, share it with someone else, even if they don't ask for it or don't need it, but learn to share whatever you have. And I think that has been a great driving force for us to establish a social enterprise where whatever we earn and is a profit, we share that with those who are not able to pay for their own training and education, especially women and youth, and especially people in the rural areas. I want to thank my business partners, especially Vincent Kensville, for hiring me when I was still very young. Well, I'm still very young, but some years ago, for hiring me and giving me his company as a platform from where I could create more companies. Many other companies have been created on that platform, and I'm so glad that I got that opportunity and established more of my own companies, and that we have created an ICT hub here in the Caribbean itself. I want to thank the people from the Guyana Animation Network who are here with me today, Jamaica Animation Network, Trinidad and Tobago Animation Network, Anime Carib, our biggest festival in the Caribbean, digital media and animation. And I want to thank each and every other team member in our team in Suriname, in Guyana, and Trinidad, who believe in my vision to create a sustainable digital economy for the Caribbean, here in the Caribbean. I want to thank my nieces and nephew, and I will call out the names: Shivali, Shriya, Shraddha, Priyavrat, Naina, and Shruti. I want to thank them for keeping me sharp and always reminding me who I'm doing this for the next generations to come. So thank you so much, each and everyone, for your support and for giving me this excellent recognition and platform to grow further. Congratulations, Shyam. So honored to share this with you. And thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Major General Retired Joseph Singh, for being a valuable contributor to the Perina. Mr. Nokta, thank you for accepting the Anthony and Sabga Award in Entrepreneurship. Anushka Sonai, thank you for accepting the Anthony and Sabga Award in